Hey everybody, just wanted to take a few moments to show you how I animate the ears on this cute little mouse fella here. I got a little walk cycle I've been working on. Kind of fun. Um, his ears aren't animating though, they're just FK on the head right now. So let me go ahead and make a quick rig, temporary rig for those ears. I can sit here and manually animate them in FK, but it's a lot of counter animating and I'm not going to get the results I'd want. So let me show you a quick way to get the results I'd want. So I'm going to make 6 locators real quick, 3 for each ear. Okay? What I'm going to do with the first locators, I'm going to put them at the tips of the ears, like so. So now they're out there. I'm going to make them a little bigger so you can see them. Okay, cool. And then I'm going to have these locators, they're going to be controlled by what the ears are currently doing. So I'm going to use a parent constraint. No maintain, translate and rotate. Okay, boom. So let me grab this other one and constrain parent. Okay, now I'm going to bake these two. Well, first, before I bake, real quick, I need to grab these, the ears, and then grab these, and I'm going to constrain parent. This time I'm going to maintain the offset because I want them to be off in space. So boom, boom. Constrain parent. Sweet. So let me bake all of these down. So essentially I'm doing is I'm converting the information. So let's get rid of these constraints and these constraints. So I've got these locators at the tips of the ears doing what the tips of the ears happen to be doing. They're very busy tips. And then these locators represent the rotation and translation of the ears themselves. You notice I have these little offsets here. This is going to be what I'm going to aim constrain. So let's go ahead and have these control the ears themselves. Do a little bit of reversal here. So now I'm going to constrain, orient, and no maintain, all. Okay, cool. And then grab this one, grab that, constrain, orient. So now if I rotate these, it rotates the ears, or if I rotate the children, it rotates the ears. So what I want to do is I want to take the location of these, and then that child, and I want to constrain aim. And I usually do scene up for a situation like this with all axes, and I hit add. I used to do just nothing for the up, but Unreal likes to work in up Z, so I've noticed the scene works better. So constrain aim. Now, by the way, if you hear baby crying, I'm not neglecting my child. My wife's in there taking care of her. So I can go ahead and do these cute little movements here, and it kind of just works. Sweet. I can't go too far or else I start getting flipping, but I'm not going to do too much with this, so this will be really simple. So let's take a look at the up and the down, the bounce in the ears. Okay, here's my up and the down. So when I move this, translate those up and down, you can see the ears rotate. So I'm going to go to curves, pre-cycle, make sure my snap key's off. I'm going to offset them in time so I could delay that bounce. Cool, huh? I could delay it some more if I want. And it's a nice little way to work because I get this multi-angle bounce to it. I can even increase the amount of bounce there is. So, boom. You get way more bounce. That's a neat way to work. Let's do it with the X translation as well. So if we go to the side here, you get a really good look at it. So curves pre-cycle. Let's offset them by whatever, 2.5. And let's make each one a little bit more dramatic. So just go into roughly the middle and just increase it. Yeah, that looks good. Scale that up. Whoa, cool. And I've got this neat little offset that the ears are rotating to. Now, translate Y is a problem. I mean, I like doing all of my walk translations through space. But it's not always the easiest way to work. Sometimes I really just want to know what this is doing, the forward and back translation locally to where the character is moving. So let me create 4 more locators. I'm just going to make 2, a child of each. And I'm going to take this translate. Actually, I'm going to take this All right, yeah, I'll take this translate, and I'm going to constrain my point. No maintain. Okay, boom. I'm going to do the same for this one. Constrain point, and I'm going to bake these down and delete the constraints. So now I've got a duplicate of that translation, right? So now I can actually take the translate y in here, and I can delete all of that little variance and set it to linear. Then I'm going to take the translation here, and I'm going to constrain point. Constrain point. I've got hotkeys. I'm trying to remember not to use them. But when I bake these down, I'm actually baking down the offset from that forward linear translation. And what I'm left with is magic. This is the local back and forth offset. So now I can scale that up some too, and I can offset that in time by however much I want. And I can accidentally play it backwards, which is fun. Let's create it some more, and let's even offset it some more. Unfortunately, I did all that before. I forgot to reconstrain it, so let's just do this real quick. So let's go to constrain point. So it wasn't actually controlling the ears. See, mistakes happen all the time. The cool thing is you work in a modular way, and it doesn't really matter. Cool. And I think I overdid the scale a little bit in the delay. And you can even move these up and down in space to move them forward and back, so that looks good to me. Sweet. So if I like the motion on the ears, all I have to do is just grab my ears and then edit, keys, bake simulation. And now all this temporary rig structure is not necessary anymore. I actually have a hotkey for baking. I'll do that real quick because you notice that there's a bunch of Oilers in here and there's a bunch of static channels in here. My own hotkey actually does deletes static channels and it solves Oilers. So I tend to use my hotkey for baking. But neat way to work. Now the problem is the children here, they're static, and I can go in and try and manually do them too, but why work hard? We're animators. We should just work smart. So I'm going to grab this new locator I just created, and I'm going to do a point and orient constraint. Same constraints I have up here, I've just got hotkeys for them, so I'm going to work a little quicker to save you guys some time. Point and orient. And then I'm going to bake them down, delete my constraints, and I'm going to reverse the orient constraint on each one of these. Well, the same steps I did earlier, I'm just not going up to here and showing you the constraint menu. I'm just doing it through the hotkeys. Okay? So now, this is all my world space rotation of those child objects. Everything that they were doing here, which is nothing, is in local space. When you convert it into world space, this is what your rotation information looks like on those child ears. So what I can do now is I can just grab these, go to curves, pre-cycle, and I can offset them in time too. I could offset them way past that. It's just the further you go, the worse they look. So somewhere around there, that looks pretty good. So now I just have to bake those down and delete those constraints. And you can see how fast that actually is to work that way. And now I've got these really fluent, fun-looking little ears. And it's an interesting way to work. I like working this way because it saves me time. I've gotten very quick at doing this, so it really saves me a lot of time. And then I'm not counter-animating. I'm actually only ever working on the data in a positive space where I have the most impact. Sometimes the aim constraints solve strangely, which is why I chose to use the child offsets. This way, my delta is never very large. It's always an offset from what they're already doing. So if I've got a character doing a backflip, this trick still works because I'm only offsetting from what the ears are doing in the backflip. So it's a handy little way to work. Anyway, I just figured this would be helpful to all of you out there, and I wish you well. Bye.